he's going to have to do, as he calls it, the stupid strats. Some people don't like it, but he's on to something. He's this far.
Yeah, well, xIceblue is using a fighter, black belt, red mage, and white mage. Could limit him a little bit on the magical front if most of the prize black magic is high level and both our runners are off. Heal 2 and wall for white magic early on.
As well as Invis and Lit 3 in the black magic shop.
So some very good magic starts for both.
So which party composition are you more of a fan of, Miauts or xIceblues?
I much prefer Miauts, but I prefer having the black belt strats as an option. I could see why xIce would be going with the fighter though. He's hoping that if good weapons and armor drop early, that'll give him an edge.
Definitely. The fighter is really overpowered in this, especially when you get the Dragon Armor and Aegis Shield. It effectively acts like a ribbon, and they can tank probably better than a black belt.
Definitely, their absorb can go about 30 points higher as a base.
We have a question in chat already, asking me and you, if we could choose a class, what class would we be and what name would you have? I'd be the red mage, and I'd be... I don't know what my name would be. What would your name be?
Oh, that's a tough call. I would say I would go with a white mage, and I would name her Dani, D-A-N-I.
I feel like I'd be a red mage, and I'd be Cal. Hey, look at that.
So it looks right away like xIce is going to do the 3 party member strat. And Stan.
Yeah, I don't think the white mage is long for this world.
What a shame.
He did roll some good spells though for that first class. I believe heal 2. What were the orders? He gets Invis 2 and it's Wall, I believe, and then he has Lit 3, correct?
I believe that's what he took.
We have a statement in chat or a question from Max Plus Pi asking why Miaut's taken 2 black belts. If I had to guess, more than likely he's probably going to let one of them bite the dirt here soon and ride a 3-man party, kind of like what xIceblue is doing.
That'd be my guess as well. With the 1 black belt and 2 mages, you really don't need much else.
No, and with good level 1 and hopefully good level 2 spells, he shouldn't have much trouble 3-manning it. Although he may wait until he gets to the volcano or to the eye and the ice cave before he decides to let one of them die, just as an extra body to absorb damage.
And Miaut is getting out with his spoils and saving and going to Garland. And the run strats, which is quicker than just flailing away almost helplessly.
Hey, look at that. Garland actually survived something.
Yeah, that first light 3 only hit for about 80 damage, and that one didn't do much more. He's got 1 more charge, though. Let's see if this does it.
And the Time Lord is dead. Game over, guys. Have a great night.
Alright, so both runners have Garland down, and they're about to pick up their loots and activate their bridges of text.
So what, you don't see bridges or text whenever you cross a bridge? You've obviously never been to the Chesapeake Bay area.
I've actually seen that bridge.
Holy smokes, it is not a good day to need soft potions.
Oh god, and the housing market is San Francisco-like in its priciness.
Alright, so do you want to go over the flag sets for this race, Terralyn?
You could go through it. I don't have it open at the moment, actually. Sorry about that.
No sweat, I can do it. And to answer the question, who's the Virginia, Maryland commentator? That would be me, Mr. Palmtree, Executor. So our round 4 flags are basically the same as round 3 for anybody who's familiar with them. Those who aren't, it's going to shuffle all of our treasure chests in the game. You're going to have 2 sets of treasure chests that are incentivized, however, and that's going to be the eye chest in the ice cave, as well as the zombie dragon chest in the Castle of Ordeals. We're going to scale our prices from 25% to 400%. Our enemy stats are going to scale from 33% to 300%, and that's significant because it doesn't just scale their health, it scales all stats. So you could potentially have a max evade chaos with max absorb, and you might hit them once for 20 HP every time you hit them, which brings the need to do these obscene black belt strats. There's also a 4x400 EXP and gold multiplier, which basically just helps us power level a lot faster, as well as buy items quicker, so you're not spending 20 hours grinding for equipment. There's also weapon fixes. Those have been turned on. And what this does is this gives the weapons their intended stats. For example, the weapons initially in the original vanilla game were bugged so that their critical rates were the same as their index value tied in the game. That has been changed, and now their crit rates are based on what they are supposed to be. For example, the Mazimune should have a crit rate of 10%. However, before, I believe it was in the neighborhood of 45 or 50%. So that changes a lot of things. It makes the weapons in the early game more powerful. However, in the late game, it actually nerfs them a bit.
Yep, that's right. No more index number for critical. xIce is fighting his pirates, and Light 3 ought to make quick work of them. Even at 300% stats, they ain't gonna have that much hit points.
Yeah, I believe that gives them, what, 21?
Yeah. Wait, they have 9, so it would give them 27.
27, my bad.
As we're seeing on Miaut's screen, the spell selection here is not the most exciting. XXXX is available, and so is Harm 3. Like 2's there if you need extra charges of AoE.
I would take it personally. Obviously, at level 2, you're hoping for another level 3 spell, but having another spell to use is obviously helpful, especially when you're running low in those Light 3 spells. Lit 3, excuse me.
Yeah, and on stuff like some of the enemies in the sea here, you don't really need Light 3. Light 2 is usually enough, even with the boosted stats. So xIce is finding some decent armor early on for his fighter.
Yeah, Miaut's not really going to have that problem. He's going to look for some bracelets and maybe a ribbon, and that's about it. Oh, and a pro ring. The good news is he's going to find a lot of equipment to sell.
And gold bracelets are available in Provoca for about half of normal price, so that's something to come back to when they get money. The guess would be that he's gonna kill off one of the black belts, Nightwolf 16.
Alright, Miaut's heading back to the Wise Old Witch, and xIceblue found a lot of nothing in the Dwarf Cave, although he did find a katana, which I'm sure he'll sell later.
Yeah, he has to go back there anyway once he finds the TNT, but at the moment it looks like it could be a Marsh Cave seed.
I've started to adopt the philosophy of not checking Dwarf Cave due to the odds of it having something being fairly low. Is a 1 in 7 chance of it actually having the TNT or the crown that you're looking for. So moving on to the Marsh Cave seems to be the better play. It saves you a couple minutes, and even if you're wrong, you're still going to gain some levels in the process.
If I don't find TNT in Temple of Fiends or Matoya's Cave, I'll usually check Lazy Dwarfs anyway. Because I would much rather be wrong and have to reset than have to do early Marsh Cave. And then if something I need is there, I could go later in the game. Oh my god, those Soagan.
I missed that. What do they have?
Oh, they had something nasty. I think it was like Fire 3.
Ooh. I know that we got Fade over in the level 4 White Magic shop. That's awesome for xIceblue. That's exactly what he was looking for because it's in the first slot, and it really validates his decision to leave that White Mage on the bench. I do say I don't necessarily disagree with Miaut running back. Most people would reset out with that katana, though. That's probably going to be in the neighborhood of about 20,000 gold for him. That's going to buy him a couple of those spells and allow him to let the either Stew or Pid die a little bit sooner.
It also allows him to buy a lot more supplies and be a lot more liberal with save resetting, which is looking like it's going to be a good idea on this save.
Hey, now, we can't be liberal here. That's all fake news. Womp womp.
I'll admit I was laughing at that off mic. So xIce is committed to the marsh strats, getting poisoned right away by those shadows.
Ooh, 32,000 gold. He had a max price katana. That is going to really help him out.
He is pretty much going to be set for money all the way to the volcano. So yeah, as I was saying, those shadows have a very high ambush rate and they can have some very nasty stuff. Having them with poison touch is actually probably one of the best outcomes you can get.
We have a question in chat. Who's so far? I think it's who's ahead so far. I don't know how ahead ended up 2 words after so far. But anyways, at this point, probably Ice just by a bit, but that's mainly because Miaut kept the katana. He didn't reset out of Dwarf Cave. It should help him a little bit in Marsh. He should be able to get through things a little bit faster because he may not need to run as much and deal with the run failures. But at this point, it's really, really negligible. There's so much more game to go that a 2 or 3 minute lead at this point really doesn't mean much of anything. Not until you find the airship and things start to change that way.
Pro rings are available, and Miaut can actually grab a couple of them this early just because of that katana sale.
And they're not too expensive either. I mean, I'll take an 11,000 pro ring any day compared to what they could be.
He may be able to grab another 1 or 2 of them after Marsh.
And we got some undead with Scorch, and that's like a death by 1,000 paper cuts over there.
Oh god, yeah, send poison touch. This is really bad. And we haven't seen any life spells pop up.
Ooh, they have Toxic. Oh god, this is gonna be a fun Marsh game. Well, guys, I think they're probably gonna bounce as soon as they find the TNT. What do you think, Tara Lynn?
I would say the same thing. Apparently, someone saw the crown, possibly. I don't know yet. I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of if you find the TNT or the crown, you stay and try to find the other item. But when you got Toxic and Scorch coming out at you, I think that's one of those times where I'm just gonna have to skedaddle.
Yep, but if it looks like you're gonna have to go there for a progression item anyway, then one thing you can try to do, even though the encounter tables are randomized, they're still in a set order, and if you can figure out what comes when in the order, you can try to reset around it.
Yeah, that's another thing that we didn't mention. In this seed, in this round, we have RNG, we have the encounter table has been randomized. So in the vanilla game, you can base what encounters you're going to get. And in fact, Feasel as well as Gyre have managed to get the world record by doing encounter manipulation. When they randomize that table, that doesn't happen anymore. There are still ways to manipulate it, but it's very, very difficult, and you have to look for patterns that can sometimes take a while to appear. Although it appears that xIceblue has finally found a good one.
Yep, he didn't like those first two, and he didn't like what he saw in the top when he was previously there, so now he's headed the bottom. Miaut's checking top.
I think xIceblue has found the sweet spot in the encounter table. He hasn't been in an encounter in what seems like 10 minutes.
And that is helpful, and now he's on a floor where that encounter won't pop up. Miaut's noping out of the top side also.
That's correct, Falfin. The main way that most people go about encounter manipulation in the randomizer is you'll look for a short, very short, long, very long kind of pattern. Sometimes it's the third or fourth encounter after a hard reset. Sometimes it's the very first encounter, or it can be the 15th one down. But you kind of look for that pattern, and you can base your hard and soft resets off the free spaces in the encounter table.
Yeah, the gap is one to work off of. There's the TNT. We'll see if... Ooh, Aegis Shield. That's going to validate him big.
Here's the problem, though. What does he got to do now?
Looks like he's looking for more stuff. He's also got to make his way out with it, because there's no exit or warp yet.
Ding, ding, ding. That is the crux. There's nothing worse than finding everything you need in this floor and then turning around and dying on the way out.
That Aegis Shield ought to give Miaut a lot of money, so that could very well be Pro Rings 3 or 4.
That's correct, and we also haven't seen the price of silver bracelets yet, but they're probably in the same neighborhood as the Pro Rings, so that should be pretty helpful for them.
Yeah, a decent substitute, although the gold bracelets are still pretty cheap on their own, and they are really lucking out with this wizard encounter, since Lit 3 was the early AoE spell.
And only 2 wizards.
And a tail!
Validation, because they ain't probably going to use it.
Ice may to be able to use that Aegis Shield.
That's true, but it's going to be a while. We're looking probably near the end of the game before he bothers to use it.
And now Miaut has his TNT, and we'll see what he decides to do.
I can tell you Miaut's probably not going to use it, especially once he gets access to Life 2. Or does he already have it? I can't remember.
I don't believe he does.
So depending on Life and Life 2's locations in the spell table, that'll depend on whether or not he decides to use it. If they're level 5 or level 6, he's probably not going to upgrade.
And really, Miaut has no reason to. Class changing only weakens the black belts as they progress. Defense Sword it still has to be used after class change. You could use it as an item, but you can't equip it until you're a knight or a red wizard or a ninja.
That's correct. The highest item that you can use as a unaugmented fighter would be the Sun Sword. That's true, ETAP. He probably could have, but it's still looking like he's probably going to let one of them Dan out and take a dirt nap for the rest of the game. There's not really much point to having 2 black belts unless you plan on getting them both to 42, and that's going to take a long time to do.
Even at 4x400. Plus, killing
you're
them
looking
all.
at a good 30 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
easily 30-minute grind.
Plus, killing off one of the black belts earlier means less time grinding Agamas or Red Ds or Ice or what have you.
xIceBlue's almost out. He's just got these scum to get through.
And Miaut's on his way also. Here's hoping he doesn't run into that zombie ghoul group that wipes everything in sight.
So, Terralyn, do you think these scum that xIceBlue's fighting right now are rebel scum?
Yeah,
Womp
let's go with
womp.
that. I was thinking something else, but this is a polite channel.
I feel like my jokes just aren't landing very well tonight.
Ooh, those sleep touch creeps are giving me out a little bit of a hard time. But xIce is out.
Somebody likes my jokes in chat.
Oh, Miaut's running into the danger group and they got the jump.
And he probably doesn't even know yet. You're going to probably see the table flip here in a minute if something happens.
Well, none of them used Scorch yet. Now they're using it, so there's less risk of seeing Toxic this round.
Are ghouls in Ice Cave? I don't think they are.
They aren't, as far as I'm aware.
Ruh-roh. Commentator's curse, Terralyn. You might not want to say anything.
Yeah, Black Belt and White Mage were forced. Ooh, Ogres have Squint.
And Lock, because why wouldn't they?
I will gladly let Bismarck handle all the jokes, because if I do it, we will probably get caned off of here.
Oh, make a joke at least once a minute. I think I could do that. But then again, they may not let me commentate ever again, and I don't know if I want that to happen. Question in chat, wouldn't it make more sense instead of having a second black belt to have a red mage or a fighter? Yes, it would if you plan on keeping them alive. But we haven't seen what his plan is yet, but I'm willing to wager that he's probably going to let one of them bite the dust when he gets to Volcano or Ice and finds a grind. Because you really only need one OP black belt to finish the game. Having two would take way too long and isn't necessarily necessary, especially having a black mage that can cast fast. When you have a black belt that hits 20 times, nothing can really take it.
True that.
Especially if you find a power bonk, you power bonk him a couple times and then do a fast, you're looking at 2,000 damage. I mean, and that's not unrealistic at all.
The damage numbers can get pretty obscene in this randomizer, even from the player side. So, xIce now has his license to print money, and he's going to go turn in that TNT.
You know, I really like Narek. He's such a nice guy. And, oh my god! Narek!
Rip. Looks like X-Ice is not even going to bother with Melman yet, just going to go straight on to Crescent Lake.
Oh, wow. So I found the answer to Tristal. I'm nowhere near smart enough to know it off the top of my head. Never would have guessed it.
I honestly have never seen an enemy cast it, so I couldn't tell you.
But it also drives home the point that only Tristal would probably know the answer to that question.
I'm gonna guess a Grey Naga, but I could be wrong. It's just a complete shot in the dark.
I don't think anybody even realizes a race is still going on. They're so consumed with this. Oh, we got some EXPs over on xIceblue stream.
Yep, they hit pretty decently.
And they ain't dying very decently either. Well, there goes one. So they got about 140 health, give or take.
Decent amount. They just really don't have the best spells to manage it. Nuke could destroy them, but with 3, they are just taking a little bit of damage. There's Warp, but it's class change locked.
Oh, that's rough.
And there's Life, along with Heal 3.
So it being class change locked, you're probably not going to see Miaut go to Ice Cave first. He's probably going to head straight to Volcano after this. Oh, we got some cheap silver bracelets. That'll make him really happy.
Yeah, that is extremely cheap. Well, I wasn't far off with my guess, Tristal. I guessed the gray one. But, yeah, apparently it's the regular Naga. So it looks like EXPs are in a decent clump in the pattern, and that would allow Crescent to possibly be a good grind spot in its own right.
I didn't see. Are they the first encounter after a hard reset?
Not sure exactly, but Miaut's running into a group now. There's the bottle, but it's max price.
Yeah, it seems like it's filled with gold or something.
The enemy stat spread is 33% to 300%.
Alright, so now that we're about 30 minutes in, I feel like now is a good time to recap. So far we found the tail. The TNT was the only major progression item found in Marsh Cave. And both our runners are about neck and neck. As a matter of fact, they are frame to frame right now. But wait, no, Miaut ruined it. Now Miaut's heading over to visit the Polish firing squad to pick up his canoe.
X-Ice is finally cashing in his lottery check.
I feel like nobody in this crowd appreciates my jokes.
Oh, come
As my
on.
wife says from the other room, nope.
You had a couple fans. Tier 4 in the white magic shop here. And Nuke at level 6. That is... It may see some use. It could well be class change locked, but even then, the amount of charges, you can't just spam it. And there's some feeds for Miaut.
So I think now's a good time to give a shout out to our runners. We've got Miaut, our famous Rooer, and xIceblue, one of the admins of our Discord, running tonight. We have Tara Lynn commentating, as well as Zalnop, who is our tracker for this evening, and I am your co-commentator, Bismarck, 189.
So, it looks like xIce may be headed to Ordeals. Oh, that was Blaze.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him.
The Swagonet Blaze. So xIce isn't making the Ordeals play, it is incentivized this round. And this is very gutsy. Ordeals is very short. It doesn't have a lot of treasure, but it does have that one incentivized item. However, the teleporters are shuffled, and there is a not insignificant risk of possible soft lock.
Yeah, I believe the correct count is 30. I may be off, it may be one or two more than that, but it actually doesn't soft lock until you go into your menu.
Right, as long as you keep it shut and get out of there, you're in good shape.
We have a question in chat. What would we recommend the Scottster99 do for his birthday in the next 3 weeks? I'm going to go with Hookers and Blow, Scottster.
No comment. I wouldn't know what to do for a guy's birthday.
Looks like Miaut's going Ordeals too. This is a interesting, not route divergence. The fact that they're both going there is kind of odd, but I guess they both feel like there's not enough incentive to head over to Ice Cave yet, especially lacking maybe a light axe so that the black belt and fighters can be useful.
True, and although they both have tail, they need floater to actually use it. Therefore, they can't access warp, and therefore a possible time save of several minutes dangling in front of them in Ice Cave is just not achievable right now. And it looks like the Nightmares are inflicting poison touch and hitting like trucks. And they have some pretty decent absorb. It's enough to get xIce to nope out.
Was Ice not able to run from those Nightmares? Did I miss something?
I don't know if he attempted it or not. Black Belt and White Mage were both required, Cena.
Both these guys saved outside of Ordeals, ready Platypus. All right, chat. So what do you guys think is going to be in the incentivized chest here? I'm going to go with the Masamute.
I'm gonna say adamant.
That's just mean, Terralyn.
I would have been nicer if only one runner had made the trip. I think each one was honestly trying to outsmart the other a bit, and they both got a little cute.
I don't know. It's not necessarily a bad play. I mean, at this point, we know it's incentivized. There's going to be something there that you can use, progression or not. And again, you're not really seeing a lot that's going to encourage you to go to the ice cave yet, especially not having warp. So I don't think it's a bad play. I mean, I don't know if it's one I necessarily would have made, especially running the black belt. I probably would have went ahead and headed to the volcano first with all the chests there, and force black belt. You're going to have to grind, but
there's the floater.
Oh, that paid off really well.
Even more so for X-Ice, because he could class change and have access to those warp strats if he needs them.
So here's my question. Why would somebody leave a floater in a chest? Why wouldn't they just flush it down?
One black belt down and that zombie dragon's hitting like a brick.
I love how I'm just ignored.
I'm trying to calculate a response to you, and then my brain is just 404ing.
I feel like I'm not going to get any more invitations to commentate. I got one fan out there, and that's who we do it for.
Ow, 140 in one hit. And see if xIceblue can get out of there with his flutter. Oh, that was a random zombie dragon, too. He hasn't even faced the mandatory one yet.
Yeah, xIceblue's luck. He's probably going to see like 3 of them here in a minute.
In later ones you can, but in this one, the harm spells have that functionality.
And it's xIceblue's turn to flush the toilet. Hopefully he'll use some spray before he leaves the bathroom.
Here's hoping. That is one nasty one.
I feel like if it's left there by the zombie dragon, it's not going to smell good.
X-Ice has made it. He's got his flitter. Miaut's just about got his ship.
Okay, all this talk about floaters, that's exactly what I didn't think you just said.
I said ship with a P.
I figured that out. And Miaut looks lost.
He's probably trying to figure out what he wants to do. Looks like he's gonna hit Cardia first and grab all those free chests. He isn't gonna class change, though. Not with those black belts so undeveloped.
And that's something a lot of people aren't aware of. One of the big bugs in the vanilla game was that the black belt actually gains 4 magic defense, which is a hidden stat that you don't see in the status screen. But he gains 4 magic defense per level. However, once he class changes, he only gains 1 magic defense per level. So it really pays to
Wait a
upgrade
minute.
afterwards. But Miaut is doing something very weird here.
He wants those class locked spells.
He really wants to go to Ice Cave, I think.
And one way to think about it, magic defense and having a ribbon. If you have a ribbon, you don't really need it at its highest. So he's banking on finding those.
And Warp is super useful. Not only in the Ice Cave being able to get that incentivized chest quickly, but also getting out of the Waterfall Cave. Without it, that's a long trek out.
Sea Shrine as well as if he has to check mermaids.
That's a good point. It's definitely a calculated risk. I don't know if it's one I would make, but it's definitely a risk he's willing to take, obviously. And I think we should trust Miaut. He's obviously a much better player than I am. I still feel like I'd probably head to Volcano first, only because there's so many more chests there than the Ice Cave, that the cost benefit, I think, is much higher in the Volcano than it is in the Ice Cave, even if it is a incentivized chest.
I agree. And while Ice Cave may have an incentivized chest, Volcano has a fiend. You gotta kill those.
And worst case scenario, I probably still would have checked all the free chests, like in Zardia Islands, as well as over where he's heading right now, the Titan Cave, to find out if there's something in there that you need, like a progression item. Because if there is, and you find, say, the crown, that only leaves you with the slab left to find. And the odds of finding the slab in the one incentivized chest compared to all the other chests in the game is fairly low. It's definitely a chance I'd be willing to take when you've still got 3 ribbons, a Mazamune left on the board as well.
Oh, definitely. There's just too much left in play. Okay, so the red mage is unable to learn heal 3 at all, or life. That sucks. The only thing he can get out of the white side is harm 4. And
he's warp blocked. That's terrible.
Well, he hasn't class changed yet. xIce hasn't. Getting a little ahead of himself there with that. Yeah, Titan's gonna starve, sorry.
Alright, the old man's giving Miaut the rod that he can use to plunge out the chest filled with the floater.
Yep, which xIce also has.
And maybe Miaut can fight a few more tigers, which strangely look like one of my ex-girlfriends with those teeth.
Wow. So, he class changed early because a lot of the good level 5 spells are locked behind class change. Stuff like Life and Warp. Especially Warp, because that'll save him several minutes over the course of this run.
So with an early warp, you got to expect Miaut's heading over to Ice Cave now. It's the only thing that really makes sense at this point. He's going to look for a progression item if he doesn't see one. He'll probably keep the Mazamune ribbons if he finds them, but if he doesn't see them, he's probably not going to stick around, I would think.
That would be a fairly safe bet. And with warp, you can get in and out of there in like 2 minutes. If all you're going for is the incentivized chest.
And Miaut's over there fighting our favorite Japanese anime adult monsters. So Tara Lynn, how are you going to feel when xIceblue and Miaut go ahead and burn up the Tyros and eat them?
I am gonna be a little bit disappointed.
What, you're not hungry for steak?
I am not a steak fan.
That's just a shame. How about an eyeball fan?
Yeah, kill those all day. I ain't gonna eat them though. So
Sweet, the ruby!
And that wasn't even the incentivized chest. The incentivized chest has the adamant.
I believe I'd be resetting out.
But Miaut is neither of us. Looks like he's gonna press on with it and check the rest of the chests on the bottom floor and the back side of the top.
See, at this point, my thought process is going to be, I'm going to have to go to Volcano. Why stick around at the ice cave? You've already found 2 items that you don't really need, especially Miaut shoes. The odds are pretty strong that it's not going to be there. Because all he's looking for now is a crown and the slab, and you've got a lot of chests left in the game to look at. And only, what, 8, 10... 11 chests left in the ice cave to look at. The odds are strongly in the favor of Volcano or some further chest.
Well, there's a free pro ring. And sometimes these side chests can have enough stuff. Unlike the Volcano, the ice cave is much more tightly packed.
That's a good point. And we got a trance party over an xIceblue screen.
You sure you're not raring up to call the Super Metroid race with all that light switch raving?
Man, I love me some good glow sticks.
Yeah, fire with cremate.
I'm so confused. It's like freezer burn in there. Womp womp.
Hell is freezing over in the volcano.
I'm so busy with my cheesy jokes. What did Miaut get in those chests?
I didn't notice. I was too busy watching xIceblue.
Chat, we need some help here. We're not very good commentators.
Obviously, he got enough stuff to want to keep because he's pressing on to the back side of the first floor. Oh, no kidding. These two are very high-tier players. Their menuing is just one of the things they use to keep that top tier.
Yeah, I remember this one time I used to think I was really good at menuing, and I mentioned it to Artea. Yeah, I don't talk to Artea anymore about how good I am at this game, because he'll pretty much cut me down to size, like the size of a postage stamp.
Probably a smart call. Artea is something else.
That's a nice way of putting it.
So,
Artea is Scottish.
Looks like he's gonna go ahead and get ready to resupply. Using a few heal potions so he can just buy 10. Getting that bottle out the way. You think an early sea shrine may be possible out of Miaut?
No, because he's still gonna have to grind. Those masters, they're not really that useful right now. They're still pretty low level. They're not really putting out any damage, and having a couple casts of Fade and Lit 3's not really gonna get you anywhere in the Sea Shrine.
Good points. I didn't think he was gonna do it either, but with all the swerves he's been doing this race, you had to figure it out.
Oh, he's definitely swerving around like he's drunk. There's no doubt about that.
Drunk like a fox, since he's hitting the volcano now.
Drunk like a fox?
You've never heard the saying crazy like a fox?
I've heard that. Foxes get drunk though?
Who says they can't?
I mean, I've never tried to get a fox drunk, so I guess they could.
Oh, red goyles have cremate.
It really is a funeral parlor in here. And xIceblue found the ice sword. That's really helpful for him with weapon fixes on. That's going to do some extra damage to all these fire enemies.
Definitely, it attacks the ice vulnerability. But yeah, they also had Squint, and that's painful. Luckily, I think he has all the pro rings he needs.
Ooh, we've got some. Oh god, xIceblue is not in a good way right now.
Oh no, stun locked on his only living character, and the other two are garden statues.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's all she wrote.
Wizogre's getting a little frosty.
I didn't know this was a split punch seed with all these stoned characters.
Yeah, this is actually in Mia seed, so.
God, those poor runners.
Yes, very much so. And looks like there wasn't really much in the big cluster of chests other than that ice sword. Vineyards, he could revive it, but it's like level 2, so it would honestly be less than useless in here. The only point I could see him reviving it at all in this game is maybe for Kraken 2 or Tiamat 2 to serve as a decoy while he tries to buff.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you're really just only going to use him for a single hit, because that's all he's going to be able to take. Maybe if you get lucky and you stick an opal bracelet on him, but that's just a waste of an opal bracelet. So you might revive him for boss fights and TOFR, just so, like you said, you can take a hit to the face. But that really depends on where we find life from Life 2, and I don't believe we found it yet, have we?
Not yet. And
Yeah,
life at level 5, it may have a decent number of charges, but you don't want to go burning them willy-nilly like that.
Right, and we haven't found Life 2, which is going to be level 7 or 8, so there's not a lot of opportunity for him to use it. So it's looking like, you know, the White Mage is probably down for the count.
He went to Cardia, but he hasn't class changed yet. I honestly believe he's gonna wait on it a bit. 91 hit points or so on that white mage. Yeah, probably about level 3 or 4.
Yes, B. Fukuri, we already complained about Miaut's class change.
It's a risky call, but he may prove us all wrong in the end.
Like I said before, he's a better runner than me, so if he thinks it's a good call, I mean, who am I to judge? Speaking of Miaut, speaking of Miaut, let's go ahead and give our runners a little bit of love here. We got Miaut and xIceblue running in the round 4 flags in the Garland bracket. The winner goes on to the second of the round 4 seeds in the Garland bracket. The loser goes home, where they probably already are.
And Trooper, you can complain about it as much as you want.
And thank you, Mr. Mia. We just got a commentary plug in our chat. I am Bismarck89. My co-commentator is the lovely Tara Lynn, and our tracker is Zelnop, who has always and probably will always be the silent minority.
And yeah, we do appreciate the plug, but the most attention should really be going to the runners.
Nah, forget them. Bring it all here. I need some money, guys. Subscribe to my channel. Should I not have done that? Was that not okay?
Some people prefer brashness, some prefer humility.
Humility? I've got more humility than anyone else. And huge hands.
So xIce making his way back through to the floor with all the chests. Oh, you're getting a request in chat.
Yeah, I saw that. We'll see. We'll see, OG.
xIce found the slab, so he's just a crown away from go mode.
Yeah, sorry I didn't bring the baby into the chat, guys. I thought about it, but he was already asleep by the time this got started.
Yeah, I'll let him get his sleep.
Don't worry, he'll be awake in a couple hours.
Yeah, neither of these runners knows what the other are doing. They are not in chat. They are not listening to us. They are just playing through the game on their own knowledge.
Well, unless they're dirty, dirty cheaters. Like my exes.
Wow, that bad, huh?
I mean... yeah. She said he was just a friend. She said he was just a friend. No one? No one got that reference?
I did, but I wasn't going to say anything. Looks like Agama's. Oh my god, he got the Miaut.
What is he doing? What? I don't understand what he's doing. If you're going to solo grind here, why aren't you leaving the Miaut on your black belt and letting your black belt use it? Because it's more effective than his fist up to level 32. Unless he's not doing a solo grind, which
he's not. He's not. With the 3 characters alive and the fact that he's had it that way most of the game, he's basically been prorating most of a big grind over the course of the game.
He also could be trying to get those characters up to around level 20 before he goes to the solo grind. That's not exactly a bad strategy, especially when you're only carrying 1 mage around.
True. That said, spell-wise, what he's seen is pretty much what he's going to get. He's still going to have the opportunity to get 1 black spell and 1 white spell at level 7 after class change, but the chances of those being useful are pretty slim at this point.
And it looks like he's abandoning the grind, unless he's going to go see what the red Ds have to offer. I'll give you a hint. It's red.
Let's see how bad off they are. It looks like they get decent evade.
It hit pretty hard, too. Not too bad.
Yeah, at least that red D's a lot healthier than those zombie D's earlier.
We have a question from Silver Rain 64 asking if the Masamune is so much better than a sub-level 32 black belt. Why does he really, or does he really need to level up the black belt at all? Yes and no. It depends. The level 33 plus or level 32 plus black belt really is significantly more powerful than a Masamune. And when you get to the level 42 black belt, it is there's no question. Level 42 black belt breaks the game.
So, X-Ice is taking carry on right now. Meanwhile, it looks like Miaut is setting up for a dual black belt grind.
This is a new one on me. It is definitely stupid. He's thinking about it. I know one thing. If he truly goes through with the dual level 42 black belts, the second half of the game is going to be stupid.
Extremely. You think steamrolling the rest of the game with 1 level 42 black belt is bad? Of course, it is going to take him a long time to grind up both of those black belts.
For sure. Although you're going to see him pick up the the Smoon here in a second. And when he picks up the Smoon, he's going to throw him on probably, I don't know, one or the other, and ride that out to level 32. Should make it go a little bit faster.
Meantime, X-Ice is working his way up towards on-rack and possibly the waterfall. Just on-rack first. Personally,
Ready,
I wouldn't...
Platypus? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, personally, I wouldn't go waterfall until I get that class change done and get more.
That's a good point. So, Ready Platypus, I'm going to look up that answer for you. I really want to see what the difference between a dual 32 and a single 42 is.
Well, he's going to prove us all wrong. He's headed towards the waterfall now. Dual 32s could be interesting. You definitely get more offensive power, except against really high absorb monsters. The trade-off is neither of them are really going to have the high hit points of a level 42, so certain attacks could finish them off a lot easier.
Yeah, I don't have 10 minutes to scroll through all the stuff, but I can tell you that the difference between one level 42 and one level 32 is pretty significant. If you can get 2 level 42s with fast, Chaos is probably a 1-round fight. Actually, you'd have to do 2 rounds to get both of them fast. I forgot that he doesn't have a red mage, but it's still a pretty unfair fight for anything that he faces up against. And he could probably 2-man the rest of the game. He's probably not going to need to worry about carrying a white mage or a black mage. He may just keep his white mage up for healing only.
So xIce is gonna waste some time in the waterfall. He may find what he needs, but getting out of there.
We have a question in chat from North Carolina State University, Ditka. Why didn't he equip the Smoon? Very simple answer for that, Ditka.
Our tracker is changing the background as we go, OG. I still think he should have class changed this, Mark.
You think he should have or he shouldn't have?
I still think xIce should have, because he's going to have to walk this waterfall out.
Oh, yeah. Well, if he wasn't planning on grinding, he definitely should have.
I mean, it has required items, so it's not like you can just reset if you get garbage.
Yeah, I mean, if he was planning on doing a grind, I completely understand not doing it. But if you weren't planning on grinding and you know the warp's in a Red Wizard slot, why wouldn't you just go ahead and do it?
Yep, Val, he is doing the stupid strats, grinding both of them up. And he already class changed them, so their magic defense is going to be trash, unless he finds some ribbons.
Yeah, they're both runners made really interesting choices with the tail, with xIceblue not upgrading and Miaut actually upgrading. Like, I'm not quite sure I understand the logic behind either one. I mean, it all boils down to the grind. If you're planning on doing a grind, you should wait. If you're not planning on doing a grind, you shouldn't wait. And Miaut's planning on grinding, obviously, and he didn't wait. xIceblue was planning on not grinding, and he did wait. I'm a little confused.
Well, them black belts are already up to 6 hits apiece. Miaut's menu is pretty unoptimized at the moment, too. He's having to do all those extra presses to get to those heal potions. I mean, he may have a big advantage once he's finally done with this, but at the moment he is hemorrhaging time.
Yeah, but as we all know, he will make it up. And if xIceblue decides to grind, then this really is almost even, especially with 2 black belts that can put some hurt in downrange.
And Bill is down.
Sweet Jesus, his nightmares hit hard.
They usually average around 2 ribbons a run in these races.
Give or take, you'll sometimes see runners be in go mode and still search for that ribbon because it really makes a difference, especially when you're looking at 300% stats. With an enemy that may have, Chaos could have up to 6,000 health, you're going to need those ribbons just to tank some of the damage he's going to put out.
Definitely.
Unless you have 2 level 42 black belts. When in that case, KS ain't going to do anything to you. Not before he's long dead.
Even then, they can only take so many nukes and nuclears without ribbons before even those characters succumb.
True story, and xIceblue just had to reset, which shows us the weakness of not carrying around warp.
On the other hand, he's run into that long gap in the encounter cycle. Yes, it would be very handy, but he cannot He can't get warp because his red mage is locked out of it.
You know what they say, Mike Junt. Nothing trollier than vanilla.
It was in the third slot of the level 5 black shop, Mia. Oh, that poison is vicious.
Well, Beefy Curry, if you ask me, this is probably the most dangerous one I've ever seen with these poison mudgalls.
Absolutely. The only thing more dangerous is if you actually get into the part of the encounter table in vanilla where you run into a gas dragon.
True, but now you gotta run right back out, and that's the scary part for xIceblue, because he's burning through those hill potions.
Absolutely. And yes, vanilla slot for warp requires class change no matter what, whether it's a red wizard or a black wizard.
So it looks like xIceblue's trying to get his levels from the regular fights. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that strategy. It's going to take a whole lot more time to do that than just buckling down and grinding, and it's not nearly as safe.
True that. Miaut's done with his black belt, right?
We think, although he just put a whooping up on that red dragon, and that's going to raise his levels a lot faster. Nope, never mind.
He's only at level 28 on both of them.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
He's probably hoping he can grow into the rest of the levels toward 32 as the game progresses.
Mia makes a good point. He's probably aiming for 32 as the game progresses. He'd probably, honestly, be there by the time he finishes the water shrine if he heads there next with the ghosts and the water elementals. He's not really going to have much trouble getting levels there.
Yeah, that's right. At level 21, black belts can hit 6 times. At level 32, they hit 8. And at level 42, they hit 10. And those are typically the 3 breakpoints you'll see among black belt runners in this tournament.
And with fast, even being at level 32, they're still going to wreck shop. The big issue is their hit percentage and if they're going to be able to hit through some max evade, which is potential, especially into OFR.
I still have nightmares about that Kraken 2 a couple weeks ago.
My god, I had one the other night. 3 times in a row I fought him. I didn't hit him 1 time and wiped each time. That was painful.
Yeah, there have been a lot of black belts, but once you get this late in the tournament, the black belt strat really starts to come in handy. It gets so much harder to get the fighter up to a good point where they can tank and hit.
Well, with a good black belt, you don't really need your fighter to hit. You just need them to tank. That's really the important thing. And their HP growth is very high.
Yeah, although they are equipment reliant, and if something like Dragon Armor or the Aegis Shield is locked away in a part of the game you usually don't check, like the locked Marsh Cave chests, you're gonna have a really bad day trying to tank on that fighter.
That's a good point. The Opal Armor is a decent substitute. It's got the same armor rating as the Dragon Armor, however, it only protects against lightning attacks. So it's only going to get you so far.
And it pretty much requires that you divert a rib into your fighter when you could be using it on the rest of your group. They do both have it, yes. Well, Miaut may have sold his, but he doesn't really need it. He did pick it up, though. Yes, steel armor can do that. But it is a root diversion and it could be pricey. Oh, Miaut's running into the poison mud golem now.
Everybody in chat... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
xIceblue walked out with it.
Everybody in chat say hi to Artea, our resident black belt hater. Hi, Artea.
That is true, but the difference in rating of 8 between those two armors can actually be a lot, depending on what the endgame fiends are throwing around for attacks.
Well, that's not good.
Miaut's gonna have to walk that out also, because his mages are still dead.
Side note, 420, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Sorry, past life. Don't do drugs, kids. You'll end up as a commentator in a Final Fantasy randomizer race.
Yep. Definitely the case.
Yup.
So xIce has his Oxio, and now he could either go to Sea Shrine with that, or he does have the slab, and he does have the cube, so going Mirage instead could be an option.
Was that an out of balance bat sighting? I couldn't tell.
I didn't see it either.
I think it was in the very bottom left corner. Can we get somebody in chat to confirm or deny? Okay, I thought we saw him. It was in the very bottom left corner next to his simulated controller.
We may see it coming out since he has to walk this out.
It's out of bounds bat. He's battiest bat that ever batted. Out of bounds bat. Hey, kids!
Huh.
Huh. I need to find a better commentating gig where people appreciate my jokes.
Sorry.
You're not sorry. Yes, I do have the dad of some dad jokes.
You don't think Miaut's gonna try to go the rest of the way with just the 2 black belts?
God, I hope not. Usually you have to pay double for that kind of action cotton. Wow, that robot really did not want him to leave. I think he was lonely.
Makes sense. I don't imagine he gets much company being back in that waterfall like that.
Stop asking questions, future sight. We got a good question in chat, and now's probably a really good time to catch up. So at this point, both of our runners have all but the crown, which is needed to go into go mode, and they are. xIceblue is currently in the water shrine, whereas Miaut's getting ready to head there. He's in the waterfall cave at the moment. Miaut has gone with an interesting strategy. He's using 2 black belts, which he's already class changed pre-grinding to level 28, whereas xIceblue is going with a much more standard fighter, black belt, red mage, and dead person 3-man party. However, he chose not to grind, yet didn't class change, therefore not having the warp spell to get out of the waterfall cave quickly, which has made all of us in chat a little perplexed. What have I missed so far, Terralyn?
So, the TNT and the tail were both in the marsh cave. Slab was in the volcano, Adamant was in the ice cave, Floater was in Ordeals.
No, they already flushed that.
And anyway, Miaut could have been making up some time here. Miaut could have been making up some time, but he left both of his mages dead from the black belt grind, so he can't warp out.
You know, my son likes the floater jokes. I mean, he's 7, and poop humor is funny to him, but I'm just saying.
He's also a boy.
That's a good point. He is a boy.
Oh yeah, the Masmian was also found in one of the Agama chests in the volcano. Okay, chat corrected me. It's been really hard to keep up with this action considering some of the WTF plays both these players have been making.
That's a good point. We have a good question in chat though. What gets randomized in this game? Long and short of it, everything. We'll go over some of the flag sets for you though, but the big ones to note are that the Ice Cave and Ordeals, Castle Ordeals, the main chest or the final chest in both of those dungeons are the only 2 that are guaranteed to have an item of some import, whether it's a ribbon, the the Smoon, or a progression item, or the ruby, which nobody wants to see. They're guaranteed to have one, but the rest of the chests in the game could literally have any of the items from anywhere else in the game. We also have enemy stats that are modified from 33% to 300%, and that includes health, strength, match, defense, evade, etc. The prices go from 25% to 400%. We also have weapon fixes turned on, which allows the weapons to do more damage in the early game, but a little bit less in the late game due to the modifying of their critical rates, as well as the elemental strengths and weaknesses that they allow. We also have our encounter table has been randomized so that these guys cannot, these runners cannot use encounter manipulation techniques to avoid, say, the gas dragons in TOFR. But for the most part, it's the same game. Still some of the quirky bugs. We just kind of threw it all into a blender, hit frappe, and let the magic happen.
That's right, it still plays mostly the same, but some of the items you can find, or some of the spells you can find, and looks like Miaut could be... Oh, there's a ribbon! First floor of Earth Shrine. Oh, Sea Shrine, rather. True, there are sanity checks on the progression items. For example, the crown will never be found behind a locked door.
I would like to take a moment to point out that there's nothing about running the Final Fantasy Randomizer that's sane.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
We have a request in chat to create a commentary drinking game for Final Fantasy I Randomizer. I am up for that. However, this cannot happen on a Monday night because I have responsibilities and, a family, and I drive a van at work, and I really don't need to do that while I'm still drunk at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, I like your idea. I like where your head's at. We'll see what we can do about it.
So the Zeus Gauntlet is in floor 4 of the Sea Shrine on the way to the Mermaids. Miaut's checking there first, while xIce is taking the route straight to Kraken first.
And a crown in the mermaid room.
Yep. So this isn't really going to prove to be a time save for either of them, because Miaut still has to go down to Kraken, and xIce still has to check all these top floors.
So, Terralyn, do you think the mermaids were doing some Neptune cosplay with that crown in the chest? I feel like they were watching a little too much Ariel, the Little Mermaid.
That's quite possible. It depends, though, on which language they're speaking. They could have just as easily been doing it with Poseidon.
Isn't Poseidon Neptune? I may have my Greek and Roman backwards.
Yeah, different languages, same person.
Oh, yeah, good point. I'm S and Marty, guys. Smart, smart, smart.
Sorry, my jokes do fall flat.
Not nearly as flat as mine.
So, he's warping out with his crown in hand, and the next move would probably be to, refresh those spell charges in the inn and go straight to Kraken. He's a complete go, he doesn't need to stop for chests.
He's probably still going to stop and grab a couple of the chests. For example, the greed chests in the rooms that he passes by. He might get the 3 chest room on the floor before Kraken. The rod chest, the ruby chest behind the vampire, as well as the phantom chest in TOFR. But like you said, you're basically correct. At this point, there's very little chests that he needs to check, and he's probably going to avoid most of them if possible.
Right, all those chests you described are low-hanging fruit, diversions to maybe half a second off the route. That's an interesting place for that spoon to go. Miaut's putting it on the White Wizard.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
At least against trash, it gives him a third decent hitter. It seems like a lot of the features that have been described in the last 5 minutes of chat, Gal.
And Troper's sitting here going, oh my god, please stop asking, please stop asking, please stop asking.
So xIce is about to give us our first look at Kraken 1. And with these flags, he could be every bit as vicious as Kraken 2, if not more so he's got to be a bit careful here.
Yeah, he's got some pretty high absorb. He took 6 hits for only 46 damage from Bill, although Ace put him in his place.
And in Vanilla, he hits for 8 hits apiece. In this, he can hit for many more.
Yeah, but Ace hit him with that nice sword he got from the helpful hardware folks.
Yep, and he got him down. He's not checking mermaids.
And then commentators curse. I don't know if that's a curse, but the point remains.
xIce, quit listening to commentary, please. Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and yell vac.
xIce has finally found his first ribbon. And Miaut down on a flash, since he's only had to check a couple of chests compared to xIce having to check everything.
Yeah, at this point, it's safe to say that Miaut's starting to take a lead. And I don't see him relinquishing it, barring anything weird happening in the ever-present ZaRNG. But these players are fairly similar in their skills and abilities, so assuming they both see the same things towards the rest of the game, Miaut's in a really good spot.
True. I am worried, though, that TOFR has been pretty vicious in this round flag so far. The level he has those black belts at may not be enough. Water's hitting pretty hard. Yeah, you don't want to curse him with TOFR.
I didn't say TOFR, you guys said TOFR.
Yeah, true. Although you gotta admit, something that tilts the runners a little bit can be pretty fun to watch.
Oh yeah, it's a blast as long as you're not playing the seed.
So he's putting the mages up top just in case Kraken decides to go hit happy, and here we go.
Artea says the level 42 black belt's never needed. Artea obviously forgets about the seed that he played the other night where it took 4.5 hours to finish.
I wouldn't know. I think I was dealing with the mother-in-law that day. xIce
You win.
Crown. And he's saying to hell with the rest of the mermaid floor. He's getting out.
Without warp, no less.
And that's going to cost him even more time. Kraken is down. And nothing of value was lost on the outside. The white mage got owned, but yeah. Yeah, there is a very good chance for more mech hype. Neither one of them have even checked Mirage yet, much less unlocked it.
Oh, I think xIceblue going to see Warmac, but Miaut shouldn't. He said hi to the out of bounds bat, so Warmac should leave him alone.
Considering how everything is going this run, I would not hold to that. That is true. So now xIce is hitting Earth, and he is in Go, so aside from the vampire chest, he can pretty much ignore most of the others. I believe both of the runners are Team Stake. What about you, Bismarck? I guess he's AFK for a second, but as for me, Tyros are definitely friends. Both these runners are pretty close together, and we will see how things turn out near the end of the dungeon. Whole bunch of Roo-Roo-Roos just running off, but still providing a speed bump to xIce as Miaut hits the unrunnable wizards, who are also running away.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, my tail would be between my legs.
You have a tail?
Yeah? What girl doesn't have a tail?
So, it's about 10:45 on the East Coast, guys, and what do y'all think about this race so far?
Hi, vampire. Bye, vampire. You mean every girl on here isn't a cat girl? Come on.
We got a question in chat from Seductive Unicorn asking how long these Final Fantasy Randomizer runs usually are. A lot of it depends on the seeds that are generated. In the tournament format, you can generally expect 1.5 to 2.5 hours, depending on placement of items, classes that are forced, among other things. A lot of it also depends on who is running or who is creating the seed. If you get a Tristal seed, it's usually going to be a 2 to 2.5 hour affair. If you get an Artea seed, you can pretty much block off the rest of your day. So a lot of that really does depend.
So Miaut gave us our first look at Lich, but didn't really show us much anything because he literally one-shotted it. But yeah, typically the races will run about 90 minutes to 2.5 hours. Could be a little longer with these flags, depending on how difficult TLFR can be. Slab is translated on Miaut's side as xIce is doing the crown chain.
Yes, Artea, you do detect salt. As a matter of fact, I almost quit the Final Fantasy Randomizer races forever because of that seed.
And xIce was betrayed. The kind old man in the Western Keep turned out to be Astos.
I didn't see that one coming.
Nobody ever does. So smart move, since he has to do both the slab and the crown quests at the same time, he's grouping it all into one big run.
And xIceblue just took his Rosetta Stone course and is now going to head over to get the chime from the kind old men who never change their clothes.
Well, first it looks like he's going to complete this crown quest and return to Crystal Eye to Matoya, who is very tilted because she's been sitting for 1 hour and 40 minutes without being able to see.
Somebody get her some preparation H. Oh wait, sight was her problem?
Yeah.
Oh. Tyro! Boo!
Yay.
We need steaks.
Eat a salad.
Okay, can I eat a black and blue salad with steak on it?
Oh, Miaut's getting some unrunnables on the way to Lithuania, as xIce is on his way there now, key in hand. No Tyro salad, I much prefer cockatrice salad. Those suckers could get chopped up for all I care, they are annoying.
Frame for frame.
Yep, both of them entering Lithuania within a second of each other.
Yeah, until xIceblue got toga blocked. It is not a choice, Soundhound. I was born this way.
It could very well be small things like this that determine the race, y'all. xIce is hitting runnable encounters and resetting out of them, while Miaut is fighting his way through the unrunnables.
Well, I think Miaut's trying to get to level 32, so I mean, it's not necessarily a bad strategy. He's getting ready to head to the last dungeon of the game. He's going to want to get there as soon as he can. Especially if he runs into Warmech on the bridge.
Yep, Warmech can totally ruin a run, because randomized, he can have any ability of the second versions of the Fiends in TLFR, or Chaos.
Yeah, it's very possible to run into Warmech, and right off the gate, he throws a swirl, a tornado, then a nuke at you. And I don't care who you are, that's usually all she wrote.
And then if you weren't tilted enough, he just Cure Force off all the damage. xIce is still checking chests.
It's probably searching for, there it is. I'll say the power bonk is what I'd be going for. Oh, the Vorpal is actually not a terrible find. A lot of people hate on the Vorpal, but with 300% stats for the enemies, if you run into a max evade or max absorb, that Vorpal is probably going to do you some good.
Oh, absolutely. And with the crit range fixes, Vorpal is one of, if not the best weapon for crit range in this game. Even though he has the Smoon on the fighter, he could just easily slap the Vorpal on the Red Wizard. Or Red Mage, as he still has a class changed.
Yeah, very wise exit and save.
And Miaut just making a beeline for the top, not bothering to check any of the chests. He's already at the Blue Dragon, and he punches it to death.
Yeah, he kind of pushed him through a grate and turned him into a nice, fine blue paste. And if I know Miaut, and I think I do, he's probably using that paste and putting some war paint on his face. He's going to run through the rest of the tower screaming.
We have not seen Temper yet. At least that I can recall. I know it is not from levels 1 to 6, but that power bomb that xIce has helps him out a bit, even missing it.
Yeah, that first level of the Mirage Tower is so easy to check. I almost never skip it just because it's free, 7 chests? 8 chests? Takes a minute to check them.
Yeah, it's right there, and then you can just proceed or exit out, save, whatever. So, start getting your Bless RNGs in chat, because we are not too far away from a Bridge of Destiny sighting for Miaut. Get that war mech going. Call him to tilt our runners a little bit. Oh, the unrunnable eye on xIce's side. And we didn't get to see it in Ice Cave.
We don't get to see it now either.
Yeah, we don't get to see what it can do.
It can stare at you.
Miaut doing the stair step upright to get to the Bridge of Destiny.
It's the bridge of destiny.
Oh, yeah, that mud gold poison ain't nice.
And there goes Go and Straw. Well, looks like he's two-manning it again.
Yep. We may not need War Mech to wreck these guys' day. But he would certainly be nice to see.
I agree with Miaut taking this encounter. This is a good idea. These guys are EXP pinatas. And with only 2 black belts left, you know they're going to get plenty out of it. Even if you are going to have to waste a lot of heal potions.
And now
Sweet Jesus.
xIce is on the bridge.
They are made out of something. Holy crap, Ice. That is a hero run if I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, Miaut's out of heal potions. This will be interesting. And
I absorb Tiamat.
Yikes.
And she hits pretty well. Yeah, he did just hit level 32.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, that's gonna be a table flip. And he's leaving?
Looks like he's resupplying.
Not the worst idea.
And yeah, that table is definitely getting flipped.
Yeah, I feel like he probably had one of those moments on the bridge when he realized he only had 5 potions left. That's probably when the table flip happened.
It doesn't help that Tiamat was hitting like a truck. Here comes the class change out of xIce. Yes, he should, because he has a lot of equipment on hand defensively that'll help that fighter become even more of a tank. Plus, some of the good spells for that one red wizard he's using were class change locked, such as Warp and Life and a few others.
Miaut's over there giving a big bear hug to the blue dragon. Kind of like that kid that shakes a pet just a little too hard. The blue dragon's no longer breathing.
Hey, that is right. Miaut wipe. That means we could see a warm-up. Still.
War mech. War mech. War mech. War mech.
That's right.
War mech.
You better get those blessed RNGs in now, because he is in go mode and he'll be there in just a few seconds.
Percent chance to run into a war mech. I believe it's a 1 in 64 encounter, so what is that, 1.6 roughly?
Something like that.
Oh, so it's 3 out of 64, excuse me, so that's 5% then.
He's on the bridge as xIce takes a trip 2,000 years in the past.
Yeah, to shed some light on the conversation in chat, the way the encounters are calculated is that there's a random number generated every time you take a step. Depending on the random number that's generated, if it is lower than a certain value, which is dependent on where you are in the game, it will roll an encounter. From that point, it will roll another number, or rather, I guess a number, depending on how you want to phrase it. 1 in 64 is not necessarily a number, but it'll roll these groups, and whatever group comes up based on the probability of that group determines which encounter you get, which is why guys are talking about Group 8 counters. The Group 8 would be the rarest encounter to run into in any given encounter.
Yeah, no war mech left. We'll see if he has better luck with Tiamat this time around.
I imagine he would, but xIceblue over here has got some rough luck with these bad men. They're not doing very many nice things over there to his light warriors.
That fighter is absolutely stacked for absorb, and it was still hitting for double-digit damage. Phantom's down. Oh, he does not have level 32 yet because of that white on the outside, so those black belts aren't hitting as good as they could be right now. Only getting 12 hits instead of 16.
At least you got him fasted. That should make this a whole lot more comfortable of a fight.
True, but it's quite a slog. xIce has already gotten through a couple 4s of TOFR. There was a heal helm on xIce's side. Miaut's inventory is such a mess, I couldn't tell ya. As for the cost of heal potions in this seed, it is what? Up to... You have the stuff there, Bismarck.
What was that?
What could the conceivable max cost of a heal potion in this seed have been?
They're 25 out of the gate, right? So that would put them at 100?
30.
120.
So, yeah. But the heal potions are super cheap in this one. Only 17.
7.5, so it rounded to 8. I'm assuming Entroper rounds up with his calculations. I'm not sure exactly how the assembly code works, but it would go from basically 7.5, so 7 or 8, to 120.
Miaut's finally dispatched Tiamat and headed towards... Well, he still has to do the crown quest first. You may think you can get through the... Just get through TLFR without bothering with the Mystic Key, but you can't.
You're probably right, Will Bloodworth, because you can just drop off the remainder. That tends to be what happens in assembly code, if I remember correctly, although I could be wrong. So yeah, it's probably going to be 7 to 120 with these seeds.
Okay, Miaut does have a heal helmet too, which he has swapped to his Black Wizard. He has the white shirt.
Let's go troll TFR. Clap, clap, clap. Let's go troll TFR. Clap, clap, clap. Uh-oh, Will just made a floater joke. Chat, attack.
Ew. Looks like Miaut is gonna make the Excalibur just to clear a space out of his menu and improve his menuing a little bit for heal potions and the like. He hasn't done... Oh, we're gonna see something fun, Biba. You just watch. You thought he was tilted before with the Tiamat wipe.
Miaut got behind earlier because he wiped at Tiamat. He forgot to buy potions before running into the Mirage Tower files.
And now he's gonna lose a lot more time because he is lacking an item he needs to progress.
It's not time to call the race yet, but it's getting awfully close.
Yeah, well, it's gonna turn into an effigy. We are almost at that point.
I don't know, Beef and Curry. It's been about 12 years since I programmed, so it's hard for me to say for sure.
And there it is!
Oh no. And he does the nuke first for kicks and giggles.
Forgot the crown chain.
And he's holding down B while he's in the airship for some reason. Miaut's having a really rough day.
He's in tilt mode. Time for him to go find out that the kindly old man in the Western Keep is actually Astos and punch him in the next round.
I would love to be watching Miaut stream right now.
I am holding back the urge to just laugh uncontrollably over this, because couple games ago, didn't he forget the cube and make it all the way through Mirage?
I only laugh because it keeps me from crying, because I've been there.
think it was actually earlier in this series. Well, you've done it. So now he's trading that herb for that key, and he will be able to complete the game. As xIce is making his way to the true final boss of this game.
I think if there's anybody in this channel that can attest to how close this race still is, I believe it would be Files25, who, if I remember correctly, the last race against Miaut, he had a 9-minute lead on him, and Miaut still won. So anything can happen. This is not over yet. It takes one bad level 2 boss to ruin this game for xIceblue.
Ooh. Looks like Kraken 2's Absorb isn't that great. I could be wrong. That was a pathetic shot. And not much hit points either. Yep. So now the next boss is going to be Tiamat too. Next speed bump, I should say.
Watch out, he's got ink!
This may look like xIce's race, but Miaut has the advantage of requiring very minimal setup in order to get those black belts going.
That ain't good either. Although this is the party that he wanted heading into Chaos. I mean, he probably feels fairly comfortable with what he's got. It's not ideal, but it's definitely better than the alternative. And he's out of heal potions too, isn't he?
Well, he's going in. And Chaos actually has pretty trash Absorb. 300 damage from that black belt there.
Now it's just a matter of how beefy is Chaos.
Not beefy at all.
GG's to xIceblue.
He has finished with an SRL time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, 17 seconds. Go ahead.
And Miaut has forfeited, so xIceblue will move on to the next round and face, let's see here. Who will he face? I should know this.
Oh my lord, that seed.
Good afternoon, xIceblue. How are you doing today?
Oh, I don't know, poisoned? Oh my god, I think I wasted so much time in Waterfall Cave. Oh my god.
So were you regretting not using the tail earlier and getting warp?
No, because I didn't want my my black belt to get destroyed later on.
Well, it's interesting because you didn't grind. We were kind of surprised about that.
That's the part of the 3-man strat.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Miaut. GG, man.
GG.
GG's. So when did I start to fall behind?
Tiamat.
Ah, okay, I see.
Yeah, I mean, up to that point, y'all were several points. Y'all were in sync. Entering in Lufin, y'all were in sync. There were a couple others where, I mean, it was literally frame for frame.
I think I lucked out with forgetting to translate the slab because I was going to go to Mirage Tower.
I forgot to get the key.
Yeah. My routing decision, I was gonna go to Mirage Tower since I found Slab and Volcano, but I completely forgot to translate the slab. So when I realized that after I finally made it out of my 20-something minute waterfall cave, I looked at my inventory and saw slab, and I was like, oh, guess I'm just gonna go to Sea Shrine. And Sea Shrine had one ribbon and one crown. So I was like, oh, okay, thanks, game, for letting me know.
Yeah, I imagined I was gonna lose when I died at Tiamat, and when I didn't get the key, I said, okay, this just seals the deal. But at Tiamat, I was not in the highest spirits to win, but I feel okay. I mean, I did one mistake, which is not getting the key. The not getting heal potions for Tiamat. I forgot that the Bridge of Destiny had mud golems. And yeah.
I thankfully lucked out and only saw 3 encounters on the bridge, or 2 encounters. But yeah, I was like absolutely terrified of the earth floor because they had, they didn't have one instance of poison; they had 2 in a row.
I have no trouble. I didn't even think twice about Earth Cave. I knew that Temple of Fiends was going to be hard because there were going to be mud golems with poison.
That's what I meant.
Earth
floor of Temple of Fiends. That's what I meant.
Oh,
they had 2 instances of poison.
Yeah, then Medusas with fire too. I only had 1 ribbon, and then there was the waters were really, really tanky.
And they hit hard.
The zombie dragons, they were terrible too. They hit so hard.
I got an encounter 1 step before the staircase, and it was like, "Hi, 4 zombie Ds," and I was like, "Great."
Well, I guess we'll never know I'll never know if my stupid stress would have been Temple of Fiends. I had 2 level 32 black belts.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of which, inquiring minds want to know, what was the logic behind going to upgrade your classes before grinding if you knew you were planning on grinding, Miaut?
Warp spell. I couldn't learn the warp spell without class change, and that made me go to Ice Cape a lot safer.
Fair enough. I guess a lot of us were confused because, I mean, you obviously had the strategy of grinding in mind. So you knew you were going to head to the volcano, or were you planning on filling out what you had in the ice cave before going to volcano? I mean, with the strategy of grinding in mind, I just wonder why you didn't go to volcano first.
I was gonna go to volcano first, but I then decided to go to ordeals because if the Agamas have something really nasty, I don't have enough fate charges to kill Kari if she's also really dangerous, and that's just going to be a huge waste of time. So going to ordeals first guarantees me to get a few levels and maybe get something good, which it did. I got the floater, and luckily I didn't die to the zombie dragons. So
I had like 1 harm 3 and 1 lit 3 charge left. I actually got a zombie D encounter while checking the chests on that floor.
I had to punch them down with my black belts.
How did you like the Agama? How did you like the Agama chests? They actually was like encouraging you to beat them to death.
Yeah, Agama was really nice. I was really glad. I mean, all my choices up until the key. I mean, the Breach of Destiny was just unfortunate turn of events, but yeah, the only thing I did wrong there was the key, and by that point, that it was already too late because dying at Tiamat gave you the lead.
You died to Tiamat?
Yeah, I got poisoned on the Bridge of Destiny. Ooh. I didn't have any heal potions, and then I got beat down by some Naochos, and so Tiamat just melee me to death.
Yeah, he had like 1800 HP or so.
He had a lot of HP. Yeah.
Like I had a fasted mass immune like from a level 30 fighter and like 4 fade charges, and like I was just sitting there just hitting him for like 400 and I was like, "Oh my god."
I know if I would have brought heal potions, I would have beaten that fight. But I mean, I mean, that's just the way the game treats you sometimes.
I will say, since you had 2 level 32 black belts, you would have had a much easier time in Temple of Fiends, unless you would have gotten a water encounter. All the bosses had less than about 600-700 HP ish.
Ah, okay. I see. Yeah. Then I guess I would have been able to do it then, because I had so many good hero walks on the Temple of Fiends, like twice. First was a really good walk. Then I found out I didn't have the key, and then when I got back with the key, I had a huge walk up until the before the Earth War.
So, X-Ice, we have a question in chat. How do you feel about your next list of possible opponents?
It's between Czar and the loser of Will and Edge. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. Czar is definitely a formidable opponent, but this isn't Final Fantasy Legend 2, so I don't have to worry amazingly bad. And Will is just I hope Will gets better. He's sick right now, so he needs to take all the time he can to get better.
So that was a gauntlet that was just thrown?
Oh, against Czar? Oh, I always do this to Czar. Let me bring up chat. He's probably like saying something.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting when we get to a later round, and the classes become even, because right now it's only 2 force classes, but the next round is gonna be 3, and that's gonna be really, really nice.
So Miaut, who do you have win the tournament now that you're officially out of it and you can make an unbiased choice?
Probably Tristal or Edge. Those are my 2 candidates. I mean, not to take anybody, anything else from anybody else, but Tristal is he's really good at the game, and Edge is also like really high up there. But I mean, to win, I would go for Tristal actually. Because he's consistent in his wins, in his first place, second place wins. So is Edge, but Tristal was here way before Edge, and he's always been really consistent across all the versions. So I think I would bet on him.
I'm actually gonna put in my 2 cents on that. I'm gonna actually say Edge, because Tristal hasn't really run too many seeds with magic shops on. So that's something he's really not terribly familiar with, whereas Edge has. So it kind of gives Edge an advantage.
For those listening, that is going to be our semi-final flag. That is the major difference. The magic shop shuffle will be on.
Tristal is definitely a very, very strong opponent.
The thing about that is that Tristal has done many magic shop seeds before. I mean, he's not new to it, so it's. I mean, yeah, I think he has a good chance.
It does throw you for a bit of a loop, though, so that could equalize things. And Will was saying anyone pulling for him is probably crazy. Well, I'm going to say Will's going to win this whole thing, sick or not.
I mean, Will has been sitting on a horseshoe, and I don't know how he walks around without looking like something stuck about 4 miles up his butt. But hey, it's been working for him.
I think he's openly admitted that he's rolled around in a field of 4-leaf clovers.
But we all joke about that. But I mean, say what you will, Will's actually, we joke about luck. He's coming out there and performed, and he's beaten some really good runners. Miaut can speak to that. He's beaten a couple others that nobody saw coming. I mean, to say that he doesn't have a chance would be foolish. Absolutely.
I'm not saying he doesn't have a chance. Everybody has a chance, because when it comes down to it, it's basically how the seed rolls and your party composition. But in later flags, it's going to be everybody's going to be running the same party. So it's going to end up just being how well you play and what you decide to do that seed.
Yeah, just take for example this seed. If I didn't wipe the Tiamat, I probably would have lost because of the key. And if I didn't had those two things happen to me, who knows who would have won there. So yeah, it's combination of how the game treats you and how many mistakes you avoid, or how well you play is always a factor. But yeah, a lot and a lot of times none of those things matter except just how Temple of Fiends treats you. You know, there's three things here.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing more discouraging than getting the Kraken 2 and finding out that you just hit a wall and you're not getting past it.
Kraken 1 was really scary for me too.
He started up that fight and slapped my black belt for 530. Thankfully, he had like 50 HP and survived.
So, as far as this tournament goes, we don't know when the next match is yet, but it ought to be pretty soon.
Whenever Will decides to heal up.
And as for the Speed Gaming channel itself, it looks like the next race is going to be tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Looks like the Pokemon Crystal Cinco Bingo Randomizer tournament.
That sounds festive.
It can actually get pretty fun.
All right. Well, on that note, I think this is a good time to end the stream. Again, everybody give a shout out to our great runners, xIceblue and Miaut, especially our winner tonight, xIceblue. He's moving on to the next round to face the winner of Zardia against the loser of Edgeworth and Will Bloodworth. Miaut had a great tournament, but unfortunately it came to a close today.
Bible Thump! Woo!
Make sure to follow the runners, follow us, and give Fiesel plenty of tacos for letting us use his channel for this.
Let's not forget about Zalnop. He is the unsung hero of the race, doing the tracking for us. He doesn't really get to come out from the shadows, but he is there, and he did a great job this evening.
Very much so.
I do want to say one last thing. Miaut, how did you like that encounter table?
I forgot. I guess I blocked it out of my mind because I had no intention of doing the hard reset strats with that encounter rate.
It was like an encounter like every 6 tiles, and then you had like 1 or 2 sections that was 128, and then it was another 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
That was the first time that I played an entire seed without doing the encounter skips.
Yeah. Oh man, that was just an awful table.
It was terrible. But yeah, congrats, xIceblue. Hope you do well in the next round. And yeah, thanks everyone. Had a blast. I hope to participate in the next one.
And thank you guys for having me, and I appreciate you all putting up with my awesome jokes, and I hope that I have made your lives richer and more enlightened for it. And I'll leave it to Tara to say goodnight to everybody.
Yep, for Bismarck, for our runners, for Zelma. Thank you for watching, and keep an eye out for the next FF1 randomizer race. We'll see you later.
So long.
GG, guys.
GG, everyone.